Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hear Me Out Pitch, or if you're returning, welcome back. I'm Tim,
I'm Willem.
and yeah,
It's been a fat minute.
it has
Tim's
been.
back. And
I'm
last
back.
week was just hectic and life is just lifing and it happens.
Yeah.
Happy July. Holy crap.
Yay! Halfway through the year.
Uh,
Or halfway through the year.
we are. We are. And
I don't like it. I don't like it.
yeah, I've been dreading July of this year, so
He's turning 30. He's turning old.
uh just kidding. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's weird. It has its moments, but I'm happy with it. But grateful for my life and how far I've come. And there's sometimes things that I wish I would have done better. But you know what? For where I'm at 30, I'm proud of myself. So at least I did something I've always wanted to do. I started something. I've made original stories. So you know what? I'm happy with that. Don't care. And thank you, Tim, for joining me on that. And it's been a lot of fun and wait, we didn't get to celebrate. The podcast is 2 years old officially. Last week. We missed it. We missed our birthday.
We did.
So it's crazy to me. 2 years of this. And I'm not talking like when I made the podcast and did that little no.
Episode 1.
Episode 1 was like June 23rd or 26th. So it has been 2 years. And
Wild.
and it's been a lot. We've come up with 20 original stories. They're all on a playlist on YouTube now. So for anyone ever wanted to hear kind of stuff, and that's not including our like sequels or anything that is a franchise change that we want to done. So 20 original stories. It's crazy. And yeah, I think we're just gonna get right to it. We're gonna try to do a shorter episode. But Tim, I know I said that I had a plan, but so in this hand, we have original idea. Second one is just random nerd talk.
About trailers?
No.
Because I have a whole thing talking about the do's and don'ts about trailers.
Okay.
Movie
All right.
trailers. And
I mean, we have the trailer talk,
examples.
or we have a nerd talk that I know you'll enjoy. And honestly, I feel like we could make it short either way. So I know I'm springing this on you, and I'm down to talk about trailers. But I really think you'd be like, oh, just because it just hit me the other day about this movie / franchise. Like I thought about it and it was like, this movie franchise is an adaptation, but yet it is so well loved, even by people who have read, well, I've given that away. It's a book, read the original work. Like, why is it so loved? How come people who are so into what this author did that they appreciated these movies? What like made them so special? And also I just wanted to like get your insights, a few favorite scenes, and for some reason it just hit me today, and I was like, that is something that I feel like we could do fast, easy, and quick if Tim wanted. So either way, you're prepared either way. I promise you are very prepared for this other conversation we could have. But I'm more than welcome to do the trailer. We could do the other one the other time, but
Let's do the other one. We can talk about trailers another day.
I piqued your interest.
You have.
I am curious though, with what I've given, what do you think I want to talk about?
For what it sounds like either could be one of three. One of three things that I'm kind of thinking of, and I might be completely wrong and not be reading your mind, which is okay because I can't read minds.
No,
sadly. It's either Narnia,
okay,
Harry Potter, or The Lord of the Rings.
It is one of those three.
It's Harry Potter.
No.
Narnia.
No.
It's Lord of the Rings.
It's Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
I just had a moment today, and this is where this is coming from. And it's just that, and this again, just short episode. I just want to pick Tim's brain of why, because we have someone who loves Lord of the Rings in the house, and I want to ask this right off the bat: are the movies different than the books?
Yes.
How much? Very much.
It's hard to gauge.
What about the spirit of the books?
The spirit of the story is kept.
And I think that's the point I want to make with this.
That's the point.
Episode.
There's a few things in the books that are different from the movies. Two of the big ones are Shelob is not in the third book. She is in the second book.
Oh.
And then Tom Bombadil doesn't exist in the movies.
Yes.
Which is fine because he plays hardly any role in the book.
Is a bigger role in The Hobbit? No.
No.
He's just a mystical
Tom
character.
Bombadil. Here's a fun fact about Tom Bombadil. He is one of the most powerful beings in Middle Earth. However, he doesn't want to get involved in the trifles of man because he wants to just hang out with his hot wife. That is the bottom line.
That's my goals right there. That's what I want. Just hang out with my hot wife. She's cool. But she's also, it's the coolest thing about my hot wife. She doesn't exist, so it's fine. I'm fine. But I think the thing that set me off on this today is just the scene that came into my head. That's a lie. It was one, and then it cascaded because I just went over all these scenes, and I think these are only in the second and third. I'll be honest. I think the first one's great, but it's just I would rather watch second and third. The one scene though that I do love in the first one, with hands down, and I still get misty eyed no matter what, is Gandalf facing off against the Balrog. Love that scene. Absolutely love it. But what set me off today is just Samwise Gamgee looking at Frodo. Frodo is defeated. He's been carrying the ring, and if I think about it too hard, I might tear up. That might be the goal today, is one of us is tearing up. Frodo has given up, and Sam is trying to remember everything back at home, and Frodo's like, I cannot remember any taste. I don't remember any smells. Every time I open my eyes, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, I don't see these movies a lot, but these scenes stuck in my head. And, he's saying that when he opens his eyes, all he sees is Sauron. And it's just so sweet because Samwise does what we want to do with all of our friends who are either suffering or we can't help them physically the best way. He says, oh, sorry. He says, I can't carry the ring, Mr. Frodo, but I can carry you. And that went off like many, many things. So,
I've got to. I had to check my facts.
Oh,
there are a few other big differences between the books and the movies.
I do want to preface though. I just want to make a point of why Lord of the Rings kept the spirit of it. I do want to hear some of it, but
we'll get to that. I need to bring some of these in. I totally forgot about the Scourging of the Shire.
What? Oh,
in the books,
it gets destroyed, doesn't it?
Yeah, after the War of the Ring, the hobbits return to the Shire, and they find
it the goblins.
No, they find Wormtongue and Saruman in the Shire, and they've enslaved the hobbits.
The hobbits?
And there's a whole thing about...
Is that where Wormtongue kills Sauron?
That is where Wormtongue kills Saruman.
Oh.
In the movies, that is moved to an extended edition in the scene in the third movie, where
a wizard should know better.
Yeah, where Wormtongue stabs Saruman in the back, and Christopher Lee does an amazing job of falling off the tower, and
rest in peace, Christopher Lee. Gosh, that man is the real James Bond, and we've talked about him many times.
Yep. Another thing, another difference is the timeline is very compressed. The time between Bilbo's party and Frodo leaving the Shire is 17 years.
Oh.
It's not immediate. It takes 17 years. And then from Frodo leaving the Shire to him returning takes several months, not a few weeks.
Okay.
Faramir in the book immediately resists the ring and sends Frodo on his way and is very noble. In the movie, he captures Frodo and
That's Boromir's younger brother.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then another big thing that I totally forgot about. The you're gonna find this interesting. Battle of Helm's Deep. There were no elves.
What?
The elves never came to help.
The elves never helped.
No, the elves never came to help. It was just men. Mm-hmm.
Tim, are the elves kind of tools?
Yes, they are kind of tools.
Well, but also like they're. We've talked about elves. You know, we've turned elves into these like very like mythical like thing, but they come from so many concept of our ancestry of Fae, and they changed and all this stuff. But I guess they are like. Is Legolas one of the only good ones? That sounds weird. Anyway.
Well, and even in the beginning, Legolas was kind of a tool.
He never talks to Frodo.
No, there is not once that he talks to Frodo.
Orlando Bloom and oh my gosh, Elijah Wood never. I don't think they have scenes with each other.
No, I mean they have conversations offset.
Oh, of course,
but like they
because everyone comes in, he's like Sam, like when he's like passed out after the Nazgul, and like Gandalf, and then
when Gimli and Legolas show up, he's just like, hey,
do you even know each other's names, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But so, first off, Tim, you only get one, and it'll be hard.
Favorite scene?
Yeah, you have to give us your top one.
You, Master Hobbit, bow to no one.
Oh.
Very end of the third
I wanted
movie.
to talk about that scene anyway.
One of my favorites because it just shows, right, one, the humility of Aragorn, who in all reality is my favorite character in The Lord of the Rings. If he's not yours, we can agree to disagree.
I always felt that Shadow of Mordor, if they would have done that game in a proper way, I feel like it should have just been Aragorn's story before he like the game ended with him in the cabin with the hobbits. Like what did he do? All that stuff. Like, you know, because from the time of him, I don't remember much very well, but there's just a lot of stuff with him, and he's everyone's favorite. It would have been a down-to-earth game, but the Nemesis system was amazing. Talion be able to come back and all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I mean, we got Aragorn's Quest, where you get to play as Aragorn. I know. I loved Aragorn's Quest.
You loved it?
I loved it.
I would I don't know. I have to try again, but
but yeah. It just shows that scene in particular, right? Aragorn is married to Arwen, and he is crowned king of Gondor, and there's the celebration, and you know, everyone's bowing to him, and he sees Frodo and the other hobbits who
they start bowing.
They start to bow, and he says, "No, you don't bow to anybody. You saved Middle Earth. Frodo and Sam, you took the ring to Mordor. You marched through you marched through the land of Sauron himself, and you fought tooth and nail and just about died to get rid of that ring, to destroy it. You saved Middle-earth. And Merry and Pippin, because of you, Sauron the White was dethroned and killed.
And they both went their own way.
Yeah.
And they both were titular in, well, not really. Mary, I think Mary helped in the movie kill the Witch King.
Yeah, well, and in the books, in the book, if I remember right, Mary is the one who stabs the Witch Queen or the Witch King, and um
Whew.
is maimed for it.
Oh.
And yeah, there's a whole thing. I might be misremembering. It's been a little over a year since I've reread it.
I've never.
But you gotta listen to it. Andy Serkis is the one who reads it.
Oh.
If you don't know who that is, that is Gollum. He is such a good actor.
Where's your precious?
But yeah, that scene is it's just so good because it shows how humble Aragorn really is. He was just crowned king of basically Middle Earth, right? Gondor is the most powerful kingdom in Middle Earth, and he is now king, right? And he kneels to the hobbits instead, and the hobbits kneel to them, or everybody else around watches the king kneel to these four half-sized men, and they follow suit. And it's just so good.
Does it get you in the feels, Tim?
It does every time.
Every time.
Another scene that gets me in the feels every time is Aragorn and Boromir's final conversation.
Oh. I would have followed you.
I would have followed you.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
And you just can't go anywhere without
My brother,
Boromir.
my captain, my king. Yeah. That's another one that hits me in the feels. And yeah, there's too many good scenes.
It's a lot. Okay, how about this? Least favorite scene. What's a scene that like it gets on? You're like, okay, I'm just whatever. Let's get back into no.
I don't have one.
Wow.
As far as I'm concerned, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is perfect.
So what you're saying is most likely in the near future you will probably going to start up the extended. this man. When what'd you get?
So I was looking on Amazon because I wanted my own copies. I've been borrowing my dad's. He has the extended editions. I found on Amazon for $40. I found the Blu-ray copies.
Is it Blu-ray?
Well, the other ones.
Oh.
A couple weeks later, I found the box set copy. The classic. If you own the Lord of the Rings, extended editions, the box sets, you know what I'm talking about. This. I found this for $40, slightly used, about as used as these, so not hardly used at all, for $40. So I bought them, and they are sitting on my shelf right by the D&D table, so I can look at them whenever the crap I want, because it's right by the TV.
Those ones that he showed were the ones that my family grew up with, and yeah. So yeah, somehow I ended up with them, and I'm like, I ain't giving these away. So it's holds up taste. So I guess I've gotten those two random questions out.
What are yours? What is your favorite scene?
I think when someone says Lord of the Rings to me, the first scene that pops into my head, it's hard. It's a hard one. I think Ride for Ruin, something about it. Something about the king of
Theoden.
Yeah, and him, especially
Giving
now
his-
that
giving
actor's
his
gone.
speech.
Like when that actor passed away, I went and watched that scene,
Yeah.
and I was just like, no,
Bernard Hill,
no.
may you rest in peace.
Yeah, no. It is no. Out of so many, Boromir's sacrifice, but I think for me, truly, with Lord of the Rings, it is Sam's monologue. Remember the good times. And, even though there are dark days ahead, if you look, a new day will come and it will shine for the clear. I am paraphrasing. It is whatever, but it was one of my favorite things. I had it. I
used to have that monologue memorized.
Same. I loved it for when I I love it.
Yeah. Samwise Gamgee is the epitome of the perfect best friend.
Everyone should try to find a Sam.
Everybody should try to be a Sam. Not just find your Sam, be your Sam.
Be your own Sam.
Because if you can be someone else's Sam, that means they can try to be your Sam.
That's true.
And Sam Gamgee, personally, I feel like if I were one of the characters, I would be Sam. Because I don't like looking at the bad. I'm optimistic. Sam is optimistic. I like potatoes. Sam likes potatoes.
I'm Gollum.
I like to think I'm a good friend.
You are a good friend, Tim.
Yeah.
So, now with that kind of out of the way and kind of this.
Well, now I need to know if you have a least favorite scene.
When he eats the tomatoes, makes me uncomfy.
Have you seen the whole Reddit thread where they explain that he's eating off of the lead plates and the acid from the tomatoes, right, leaches out the toxins from the lead plate, and then he's eating those toxins, and that's what's driving him slightly insane.
Oh,
it's
a fan theory.
It's a fan theory. It's been going around for a while.
If that,
that is,
I think
that is an uncomfy scene.
It's an uncomfy, but I don't really think there is a moment where I'm kind of like, oh, it's getting kind of. Maybe I'll be honest. Maybe when they're gathering, again, I think the fellowship, the building up, I'm kind of like, just get on with it. So that's about it for me. Like the Nazgul scene's awesome, and then they're all like arguing around the ring. I'm kind of like, come on, let's get going. But all in all,
we've had our own moments like that in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes. Ethan.
Well, it wasn't that.
Okay, I'm so kidding. I just wonder. I put those in there just in case he does watch, and he's just like, "Hey, hi, you two should."
It's like when we would call out Zach. For
I know, we gotta do that more.
Avatar.
Hey,
go watch Avatar, Zach.
And if you haven't watched Avatar, go watch Avatar. All right. We got that out of the way. I still want to keep this short and sweet. So really quick, like I'm talking like we probably have, if we're shooting for half an hour to 40 minutes, we're doing pretty good here.
Yeah.
I think just why does that adaptation stand so strong? Why? I don't want to bring up like any other ones right now. Just why is it that this one, which has very different things from the book as we've talked about, why is it so loved?
For me, when it comes to what makes a movie or TV show great, it comes down personally to three things: the story,
okay,
the music, and the acting. All three of those for The Lord of the Rings are on point. The story is very on track with what happens in the books. There are some major differences, but they're not enough that it really causes any issues, for me at least. The acting is on point. Every single actor in those movies killed it. When I see those actors, you know, I say out in the real world, I mean like on social media and in other, in other titles and other movies. I can't really see them as anything but their characters in the Lord of the Rings. I see Ian McKellen and I'm like, that's Gandalf.
He's Magneto more to me, but that's another day.
I didn't ever watch really the X-Men.
It's
sorry.
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I see Viggo Mortensen. That's Aragorn.
I
100%. I see John Rhys Davies, Gimli, and a little bit a little bit I can see his role in Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's right. We named the dog Indiana.
Yeah. I see Orlando Bloom, and I think primarily I think of Legolas. Second, I think of William Turner.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Right. Elisha Wood will always be Frodo.
Sean Austin
will always be Sam. Billy Boyd will always be Pippin, right? And I'm gonna.
He's very. Is he Scottish or Irish? They're both Scottish, right?
Crap. Oh, I feel bad. Oh, I feel bad now.
Oh, he's gonna see this.
It's not Cameron Monaghan, because Cameron Monaghan is Cal Kestis.
Oh, that's right.
But it's a similar name. Crap. Okay.
And
yep. Don't put me to the stake, please.
We're not. Jeez. Later. Just kidding.
Uh-huh.
And I hope that you guys aren't too upset about this one. It's been a hectic time, and we did want to talk about something, but this just hit me, and mentally, I don't think I would have just ended up ranting about trailers today. So I was like, I want to do something that we can be simple, sweet, and just a casual me and Tim conversation, and you all just get to just enjoy it with us, because honestly, me and Tim have these conversations.
We have these conversations
all the time. Usually 20 to 30 minutes after we get done recording, we end up talking about something random. Usually like in one of our doorways, because we're just like blah, 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 blah. So it is what it is. And
come on.
He's struggling.
Dominic Monaghan. I had the last name. I couldn't remember his first name.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway.
No, acting, like everyone there.
On point.
They did a wonderful job. They took so much time for the special effects. They tried to do stuff that was so ahead of its time that, honestly, some of those scenes stand up so well. I prefer the Uruk-hai of those than any of the
orcs and any other
orcs that we get in anything else. It's like they just don't.
Yep.
They look weird. The only orcs or Uruk-hai that I would wait a minute, just orcs. The only orcs I think that beat them are the ones from Shadow of Mordor, just because they had so much variety, and you just felt not really that much variety. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I get you. You know what I mean?
No, you know what I'm talking about. We're changing it. Catchphrase. Cat.
Sure.
Whatever.
Anyway, moving on.
Catchphrase. Yeah. I'm just so shocked that this is so beloved still to this day. Well, I'm not shocked. But it's still so loved, and yet why can we not adapt things? Now we hear about adaptations and we groan, we cry, we scream.
Because the adaptations they're giving us now are terrible.
So what do we have to do to...
First and foremost.
Stop for a while?
First and foremost. If you're going to make an adaptation, check to see how beloved the original is, right? Talking about live action again for a moment, right? Lilo and Stitch.
Oh,
we didn't need a live action adaptation because the original is just perfect. It is perfect the way it is, and then we get the live action adaptation, and I'm gonna circle back to that movie in particular for my next point. Another example is Aladdin, the live action Aladdin. The live action's okay, but the original one is just the original is just too good, right? And that is different because they were trying to retell the same story from the same point of view. Maleficent is a good example of what to do right? They went and through Maleficent's point of view as opposed to Prince Philip.
And I didn't realize this, but Maleficent's story is just the adaptation of Medusa's story. Because Medusa was originally was always a Gorgon sister and a monster. And then someone changed the story like hundreds of years later, if that, and they changed it to the story that many people know, which many people who have her head tattoo on their body, that means something different. We're not going to talk about that. But it's just crazy that we have been changing stories for a fat minute, and yet now we are struggling so much. And I think when you bring up Lilo and Stitch and all these other ones, Lord of the Rings was trying to do a classic story and give it to a wider audience, because not everyone has seen because they had the animated movies.
They did. Well, and with the Lord of the Rings, this is my next point. They were trying to keep it true to the spirit of the original story, right? The original Lord of the Rings, right? The books, the story is about a hobbit who goes on an adventure, leaves his comfy home to save the world, to take the ring of power, the one ring, across the world, across the country, to throw it into a volcano and have an adventure along the way, right? And we got that in the book and in the movie, and it kept the characters for the most part were identical. Arwen's another change in the movies. She's a decent part. In the books, we only really know about her because of the appendices. But like for the most part, the characters remain true to themselves. Lilo and Stitch is a good example of not sticking to the spirit. The whole point of Lilo and Stitch, right? Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind. Not Ohana means family, and family means I'm ditching my sister so I can go chase the American dream.
Look. I'm not trying to defend it, but I did learn they are going to do a sequel, and it's going to be completely original from anything else. I'm hoping for Gantu to either be the main villain, or I'm hoping for
But Gantu isn't the villain. There is no villain, and
Dr. Hamsterville. Dr. Hamsterville was a villain.
Yes, but no.
He was. Dr. Hamsterville was evil. He was willing. They softened him for little kids, but that little rodent was willing to kill anyone get out of his way. I watched. Look, me and my siblings watched those ones religiously. I used to know. Fair. Almost all the experiments by name. Like I loved Lilo and Stitch growing up. So, and it's.
Yeah.
I don't think
that's fair.
I think if you need to capture the.
Anyway,
here's what I think. We've had this conversation every time.
We're
circles. Broken record.
You guys can tell how strongly we feel about the live
because
action
it's just
stuff.
Want stories that I can. If I want to watch Lilo and Stitch, I will turn Lilo and Stitch. I'll be honest though, Cinderella, I love the live action way more than the original cartoon. The original cartoon was cute, and I did shed a few tears while watching that recently. Because I watched the Disney one, and then I watched the Drew Barrymore one, Ever After, which is not Ever After. Yeah, Ever After. And then Cinderella, and it was just so good because they touched up on it. They added a few more things. That movie
kept the spirit.
It kept the spirit.
Story.
And it added a few things that inspired.
Beauty and the Beast is another good example.
Yes.
It stuck to the spirit of the story. Did we need the live action adaptation? Not necessarily.
We did get one of the best songs though from the live action.
That is true.
Evermore for me is one of my, and again we've said this.
We've said it a million times.
So many times, and I don't know how.
If you are going to remake something, make sure it has the heart. I'm gonna D&D side tangent for a minute.
Nerd.
Necromancy, right?
No, you are not going to compare.
Oh
my gosh,
we are
that
when you are remaking.
No,
when you're reanimating, you're reanimating it, and if you give it an entirely new skeleton, it is not the same. You got to keep the skeleton, you've got to keep the shape, you've got to keep, the features, or it's not the same. You can touch it up, right? You can paint over it, but the shape needs to be the same.
If it is soulless, it is just necromancy. If you can keep the spirit, you get a good resurrection.
I like it. Yep, there you go.
And I don't even I hate this guy. He wants me to play a necromancer, and I will fight him for that. But here's Prince of Egypt. Do you want a live action?
No.
Why? Because what if you want to watch Prince of Egypt?
I'm
what are you
gonna
gonna
watch
do?
Prince of Egypt.
Wild Robot.
Wild Robot will no.
But if you want to watch it, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna watch it. Wild Robot's perfect.
The story's been.
The thing is, they are taking beloved stories and they are twisting them and changing them.
We're getting a new Cat in the Hat. Did you see that?
I did.
That rhymed.
That's something I'm kind of excited for because it's the Cat in the Hat, and we haven't.
Have you seen the Michael Myers one?
I have. We haven't had a good Cat in the Hat movie.
I'll be honest with you.
I will die on that hill.
I'll be honest with you. Okay, so we're gonna go on so many tangents, and it's gonna be like, and okay.
No, to keep
going back.
We're keep our time.
Let's put a pin on that.
Back to the Lord of the Rings.
You guys know our take. This is why we have this podcast. We don't think that stories have heart and soul in them anymore. We think people are just not putting it. But the thing is, YouTube. There are so many like original shows, original stuff out there. There are shows on Netflix that I'm like, because
I know it's going to get brought up. The Hunt for Gollum. We have our new movie that's coming out. We have the original cast.
I don't know how I feel.
I am excited because it's the original cast and I like the director. And
if it were me.
Here's the thing. Those actors know how to speak their mind and say that's not true to the character.
But they are old and they
are, but I don't care. I want to see Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn again.
But he's look, if they did this in any way, I don't know. I don't know how I feel, and it makes me nervous, just like with the live action Legend of Zelda, which should just be animated.
That one we have,
that's
a conversation we've had a dozen times.
We've had a dozen times. I just don't think we want to keep the heart of things that you're making adaptation of. And you should have an idea of what you want your audience to feel. Here's a random out of field left, like out of nowhere. I know Tim doesn't watch it that much, but South Park, it keeps true to its spirit, and it makes you laugh and it makes you think. And they try to like have an end goal all the time, and for some reason, I just feel like what's going on with Paramount and all that stuff, and them crippling the creators of South Park, it bugs me. There's so much going on that like we're losing our creativity and our heart. And I know South Park was probably way out of line, but I just every week they just take what's happening in the world and they do that. I'm sure that I wish that we could get some of the stuff that's been going on lately. They would have a heyday. But anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're good. The whole point that we want to make is the Lord of the Rings is fantastic.
Absolutely.
It's perfect.
10 out of 10.
Doesn't ever need to change.
Never.
I am happy to add a little bit to it. Rings of Power, I have
It's not. That's not Lord of the Rings.
It's not. which is why I can say I don't like it. Pacing, acting, really the storytelling just isn't there for it. And I'm a little disappointed because they're tampering with Middle Earth.
I've heard that
Hunt for
later
Gollum,
season's better.
I have heard second season is better. Do I care enough to actually watch the second season? No.
Because once you've been burned, it's hard to go back. That's what we've seen with
As a
Marvel
child,
and
when you burn yourself on the stove, you're not going to touch the stove again. Rings of Power burned me. I'm not going to touch it again.
people, creativity, and I know by all means we probably have a few episodes that burn people because like you guys are boring. You yap. That Willem guy never shuts up and interrupts Tim too much. It's fine. But yeah, I'm glad we had this. I think I was not mentally able to really talk about trailers the way I wanted.
We'll prepare for it. We'll talk about trailers another day.
I think next week we will, because we'll talk about it. There's just been a few things that I'm just sick of.
We've been disappointed recently with trailers, and
why do you spoil things? Oh, that's it.
Yep,
right.
We'll leave it at that. We'll get to it next week. Ooh. I have a whole thing ready for it.
All right, and so we will hit that next week. It will be great. I'm pretty satisfied with my character. So before I send things off, Tim, is there anything you want to say to them?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know how I feel about the Lord of the Rings. I love it. It's fantastic. It's
Absolutely.
beautiful. It's perfect.
10 out of 10.
It never needs to change, and
Never. I'm
hopefully optimistic about the Hunt for Gollum. As always, love each other, be kind, and remember, if you're going to change something, try to keep the heart and try to be someone Sam.
Oh, nothing else to say. Thanks for joining us on this fun little just talk at the table. So we don't know if we'll do this a lot more. Probably not. Hopefully not. We're excited for the stuff that's coming out soon for us. Definitely look forward to the stories we're going to tell with you guys. So, but until next time, we will see you later, pitches. Bye.
Goodbye.